power. For decades, I've helped buyers, sellers, investors, and real estate professionals understand how real estate really works by explaining the strategies, psychologies, and the hidden mechanics behind successful transactions. I'm also the author of Realtoring in the Time of Ghosting, a book that explores how trust, communication, and education have become the real differentiators in today's real estate market. I also created the Realtor Whisperer, a coaching and training platform that helps real estate professionals improve their marketing, negotiation skills, client presentations, and overall value to consumers. My philosophy is simple. The best real estate professionals don't just provide information, they provide and create transformation. Whether I'm working with consumers or coaching agents, my goal is to help people make confident, informed decisions by explaining concepts that are often overlooked or misunderstood. Through my weekly radio show, educational videos, classes, and online content, I cover topics such as buyer and seller strategy, negotiation, MLS optimization, marketing, and real estate technology. We also talk about AI and the changing landscape in the industry. I believe that when people understand why things happen in real estate, not just what happens, they make better decisions and achieve better results. If you're looking for straightforward advice without the hype, and you're looking for practical education instead of sales pressure, and insights that help you see real estate differently, you've come to the right place. I invite you to connect with me and explore my educational content. You can find me on YouTube at Randal Jenkins Realtor, and you can find me on Facebook at Randal Jenkins Florida Real Estate Partners. That's the name of my brokerage, Florida Real Estate Partners. I look forward to helping you better understand real estate, whether you're buying, selling, investing, or if you're building a real estate career. Today we're doing the radio show here on Tan Talk Radio. We're on AM 1340 and 1350, and we're on FM at 106.1. And you can catch the replays on the YouTube at Tan Talk Radio or on Randal Jenkins Realtor. We do this every Wednesdays from 5 to 6, and every week we pull back the curtain on how real estate really works. This isn't a show where we read the headlines and tell you whether mortgage rates went up or down an eighth of a point. There are plenty of places to get your information. This show is something more valuable. It's about understanding the hidden mechanics behind buying, selling, negotiating, marketing, and investing in real estate. We do this by telling stories and making commentary. Whether you're a buyer, a seller, an investor, or a real estate professional, my goal is simple. When this hour is over, we hope you'll understand something you didn't understand before. Because I believe we're no longer in the information business. Information's everywhere. You can ask Zillow, you can ask Google, you can ask AI. What matters today is interpretation, context, strategy, transformation. The best realtors don't just answer questions. They change the way people think. And that's what we're here to do today and every week. So let's get started. I want to introduce my guest today, Eric Jenkins, Keller Williams, realtor, superstar realtor from Keller Williams. Can you say hello, Mr. Jenkins?
Hello, Mr. Jenkins.
Eric has 9 years of experience, more than 380 successful real estate transactions. He's built a reputation as one of the hardest working and most detail-oriented realtors in the business. His clients know him for his diligence, his conscientious approach, and his unwavering commitment to delivering exceptional results. One of Eric's greatest strengths is taking a compliment. No. One of his greatest strengths is his experience his clients have through the buying and selling process. That commitment is reflected in the hundreds of testimonials he's earned over the years. Because he serves clients across 9 counties, Eric can provide numerous client references from every market he works in, including at least 10 testimonials from every client that he regularly serves. Averaging over 4 new client testimonials each month, his consistent feedback demonstrates a level of service, communication, and professionalism, and a consistency that few agents can match. Eric believes that the great real estate is about more than putting out a sign in the yard. Every listing deserves a strategic marketing plan designed to maximize exposure, generate buyer interest, and position the property for the strongest possible outcome. His attention to detail and innovative marketing strategies help his clients stand out in today's competitive environment. As a realtor with Keller Williams Realty, Eric is part of one of the most respected training organizations in the industry. Based out of Palm Harbor, he benefits from the leadership and the coaching of Gary and Nikki Ubaldini, whose organization is widely recognized for developing high-performing real estate professionals. Their commitment to education reflects the Keller Williams culture, established by Gary Keller, the author of Millionaire Real Estate Agent and one of the most influential books in the real estate industry. In fact, Gary and Nikki are highlighted in Mr. Keller's book. Eric also works alongside a dedicated team that helps ensure every client receives a responsive communication, seamless transaction management, and exceptional service from contract to closing. His growing list of inventory and consistent results are a reflection of the trust his clients place in him and the results he delivers. Committed to continuous improvement, Eric has also been mentored by his brother, who wrote this, Randal Jenkins, an accomplished real estate professional and coach who has helped shape Eric's strategic marketing and his approach to negotiation and client service. Whether helping first-time home buyers, experienced investors, or homeowners preparing to sell, Eric brings professionalism, integrity, and exceptional marketing expertise and an unmatched work ethic. In every transaction, his goal is simple: provide expert guidance, protect his client's interest, and deliver experience that exceeds expectation. The hundreds of clients who have taken the time to share their experiences speak to his consistency of service and the lasting relationships he builds long after the transaction is complete. Eric, welcome.
Wow. Could I get a better intro in the future?
That's it. One time. Go ahead and snip that. Make your own list. Make a short.
Snip that, pal.
Make a short, and you can use it in your marketing.
Thank you. I'll take 2 to go, please.
So yeah, how's the market, Eric?
For some areas, it is excellent. If you're a buyer, a lot of choices. And in some areas, if you're a seller, there's nothing available, and it will go pending immediately.
Yeah, it's a crazy market. We're going to talk more about the market toward the end of the show. It's a little bit challenging, and I don't want to depress our audience with some of the challenging this market is presenting. But I had a conversation and discussed a challenge with one of my marketing group partners, and basically he had a buyer, and that buyer was a good buyer, and he could never get that buyer to make an offer. And I finally said to him, just ask him what's going on. And the buyer said that he didn't know how much to offer because he didn't know what the repairs would be. And what I said to him is you have to do a little training with your newer clients and with first-time home buyers. And that is the offers that are made are based on an idea that the home is what it's purported to be. But then you do an inspection. And then when the inspection comes back, you renegotiate the price based on what you've learned from the inspection. There's no way to know what the inspection is going to find. Although we're going to tell some stories where we go into these challenges with some knowledge of the condition. But you've talked to me today, actually, Eric, about your challenge with an inspection and getting insurance.
Yeah, I had a deal today that tried to fall apart. The inspector gave a satisfactory to the roof, but then he checked a couple boxes. And then when we had roofers come out, they disagreed with him. And then we went back to the owner, and the owner disagreed with the inspector. And they did a new 4-point that passed today.
A different inspector?
No, same one.
What do you attribute that to?
He checked 2 boxes that had something to do with curling of the roof and the tile on it, and they went back out there and said, it really isn't.
The lesson we want to give, and if you're a new agent or you're part of my marketing group, early on in the relationship with a new client, you've got to say, Eric, you probably wonder how to make an offer. And what is the timeline for making an offer? Let me share that with you. We're going to examine a home but we're not going to do an inspection. And we're not going to make our offer based on our perception of the inspection. In fact, we're going to make the offer based on our perception of our desire and our perception of value. Now, if indeed the seller signs, we're going to do an inspection. And let me tell you something that I tell all my clients and students. The negotiation doesn't start until the home inspection ends. And our purchase price is a function of what happens after the inspection. So you need to be brave about making an offer. If you really like the house, don't let your concern about condition don't let it hold you back on your making an offer. You can't know the condition until you do an inspection, and you can't do an inspection, or you shouldn't do an inspection until you have it under contract. Otherwise, it's possible that they'll sell it to somebody else while you're trying to figure out what to offer.
Absolutely.
Wow, you're such a great co-host.
That was absolute true.
Gosh.
No doubt about it.
So we want to try to tell stories. So I have a good story that happened this week. There's a great house, and we didn't get it, but it was $275,000. And we knew it was a 20-year-old house, which means 20-year-old roof, and a 20-year-old air conditioner, and a 20-year-old water heater, and 20-year-old septic line. We know when we made our offer that it was going to fail the roof inspection. We actually planned on making the offer knowing it was going to fail the roof inspection, and that we would be able to go back and renegotiate price based on the failed 4-point inspection. Now, if you're not aware about a 4-point inspection, there's a full inspection, and then there's a lot of other inspections you can do, but the one that is required for the good insurance is called the 4-point inspection, and that's roof, AC,
electrical and plumbing.
And what's happening now is 15-year-old roofs are failing. These insurance companies are being very challenging regarding getting insurance on roofs that are 15 years. And I learned that by making an offer on a house with a 14-year-old roof, and got a enlightenment. And in that case, we ended up getting a new roof. We actually had to raise the price for that one. But the story we're talking about today is about the $275,000 house. And they turned us down on our $265,000 offer. And then the buyer it was an investment. So they weren't motivated, they didn't care, but we went through a lot of houses, and we kept coming back to this same house. And I called the realtor, and I said, look, we know the roof's going to fail. He's like, I know. I said, the AC's going to fail too, isn't it? He goes, probably. I said, you didn't take our offer because you knew this was going to be an issue. Yes. He knew, I knew. I don't know what the seller knows. I know the buyer knows because that was my buyer. So I said to him, what if we did this? What if your seller agrees to the $265,000? And let's say we, the buyer, we'll pay $5,000 toward an air conditioner. And we'll pay $10,000 toward a roof. So what if we agree to doing a deal at $280,000 with a new roof and a new AC? And he paused and he thought about it, and he goes, let me see if my seller will do that. And they agreed to it. Now, we had originally made the offer hoping that they would take the $265 and hope that it failed and that we could have gotten the new roof inside the $265,000, but they were too sharp for that. But that's, you make an offer, there's no subterfuge, it is what it is. They may very well have taken. These people have tons of equity. They bought the house for $150,000 not very long ago. They're getting $265,000. It needed a roof. It needed a new AC. And then that brings on a whole nother subject about maintenance versus upgrades. Maintenance is not an upgrade. You can't claim that, we put a new roof on it. That's maintenance. That's not an upgrade. An upgrade is a swimming pool or a
Double pane windows.
good, that's an upgrade. So anyway, if you're thinking about making an offer and you don't know how much to offer and you like the property, just remember, it's offer, inspection, and renegotiation of price. All right, what do you do when you, and this is one I know you know the answer to. So you get the home inspection and you want to send them an addendum with a request for repairs. What do you send them?
Well, you could send them two documents. One's a cancel and release, and one is buyer and seller agree for a new price. And let the seller pick which one they want to go.
Especially if it's the last day of your inspection period.
Yeah. I did that yesterday.
Yeah, tell us.
We made a fair offer, and we were negotiating to extend the inspection period so we could do some more inspections. And we sent them a cancel and release and a buyer and seller agreed to a 7-day extension for the inspection period. And they signed the inspection period, and now we are going 7 more days.
Oh, so they didn't do the cancel?
No.
They didn't agree to the inspection, to the repairs.
No.
Interesting. Where'd you get that idea?
From you.
You're so smart.
But it's mine now.
It's your, now that's part of your,
That's mine.
it's yours.
It's
Okay,
mine.
cool.
Thank you.
All right, in our goal and desire to be entertaining, which evidently we're not all that entertaining.
No.
We're education. This is education. It doesn't have to be entertaining. So I'm on one of these real estate mastermind groups, and somebody asked a question: what is the quickest closing you've ever seen? How fast is the quickest closing you've ever seen?
I think mine's maybe 11 or 10 days.
Mm. I have a story. I hope no one goes to jail, me talking. And this happened over 20 years ago, so I'm assuming the statute of limitations, statute of
Liberty.
Libertation is beyond us, and I hope nobody searches all of my transactions to find out what I did.
Main Street, 123 Main Street.
It's 911 to turn me in. But this is a great story. So I had a deal that failed to close, and we were the seller. This was actually before I got licensed.
Mm.
And so the title work was done on Tuesday. We were supposed to close. It didn't close. So I get a call from this guy on Saturday morning. And that's not true. I got the call on Friday morning. And he says, I need to buy a house. I need to buy it yesterday. I said, what? He goes, I need to do a transaction. I need to have it dated yesterday.
Wow.
I'm like, how do you do that? He goes, I don't know, but I need to buy a house and I need it dated yesterday. So I called the title company and I said, hey, you know that deal that we had that didn't close on Tuesday? You think we can close it yesterday? And they're like, what? I said, you think that we could just make the date yesterday and close it today? It's a cash deal? She's like, I think it's still yesterday in Okinawa. And we closed it the day before
Wow.
the contract.
Wow.
And I did put that on the mastermind group as a, I don't think anyone believed me, but I swear it's the truth.
Was it a 1031 exchange?
I have no comment.
Oh.
I don't know. It was some reason this guy really, really needed to close it the day before, and I think it was our first transaction.
That you ever did?
No, with that guy. He didn't end up doing a few more deals over the years.
Wow.
All right, let's talk about pricing. $299, $900.
I don't think that's a good thing to do.
$399, $900. $999,999. Can you imagine?
God, that's a mistake.
Terrible, terrible pricing. You want to share with us why it is?
Well, if you list it for $999,999.99, if you have a buyer that says I'm looking between $1 million and say $1,100,000, this house won't be seen. The only way it'll be seen is if you have a buyer that says I'm looking between $950K and $1 million, then you'll capture it.
And you'll be the highest priced house on that list.
Gosh, that's so true.
But if you price it at $1 million,
you'll be the top on one and the bottom on the other.
but you'll be on both.
You will
and
be
I
on
would
both.
much rather be the cheapest house on the $1 million to $1.2 million
Yeah.
than be the most expensive house on every list that you possibly see.
All right, that's good.
So 900, anything, it's not gasoline. You know, they trick you. Oh, gas is only $3.99.99.
All right.
For you, $4. No. But the point is that if every time I see a new listing priced at $299,900, I always look at the realtor and I go,
Learn.
they must be new.
Learn.
Although I've seen many established realtors pricing at $299.99. The thing about it is, if it's been on the market for 6 months and you want to go below the thing and the client insists, you almost have to do it.
Absolutely.
But, you know, what's the difference between, you know, $299.9 and $300? It's $100, and that's not the point. The point is to be on the list.
Both lists.
Both lists, exactly. And,
Yeah.
and you, if you're on either list, you'd want to be the cheapest one, I would suggest.
Yeah.
All right, so random topics, just a whole bunch of great educational information to give our audience content, our ideas that you're going to learn something in this real estate radio hour.
Are you getting all this, Mom?
Our one watcher, we have one person watching on, oh, that's me. I'm watching on YouTube. Woohoo! Delay. All right, anyway, so anyone who has a lot of listings, how many listings do you have?
23.
And I have 21. You get a lot of offers from investors.
The worst.
And then you get an update, just checking on my offer.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you something. This is not the stock market. There's no good till canceled orders. You can't put your order in on a house and say, you know, if the
Fill
price
or
drops
chill.
to this price, call me. It doesn't work that way. You get dozens of offers from investors. But once a contract is rejected, it's not saved. I have an email I send out to these investors, just checking on my offer from 3 months ago. And I'm like, what'd you offer?
That's what I always say.
What'd you offer?
What'd you offer?
Did I respond? It means it was rejected. I write, every contract that is not accepted or countered is rejected. I no longer have your offer. When you follow up with this kind of inquiry, your best bet is to resubmit the offer at a higher number.
Absolutely.
Even if it's only $1,000.
Absolutely.
If you submit a rejected offer in this manner, and the manner was, how's my offer? It won't be presented because there's nothing to present. Because we
gone.
no longer have your offer.
Yeah.
By resubmitting your offer, the listing agent will present that offer as a new offer. Your following up in this manner only elicits the response that your rejected offer is still rejected, or no response at all. And then you send them an advertisement. Follow my radio show, follow my YouTube channel, follow my Facebook for valuable real estate information. I have this is a story. It's not a great story, but I had a offer, and it was substandard. And, you know, I looked at page 1, and I said, no, we can't do that. And then they came back and went higher. I said, no, we can't do that. And then they came back to full price. And I said, yeah, we can do full price. And then I read page 11, which I had never gotten to. I'm negotiating for 10 days. All I saw was page 1. And that's not a great testimonial for me. But the bottom line is, on page 11 was a deal breaker. So you got to read the whole contract when you're getting an offer. You get an offer, it's $50,000 below your asking price. It doesn't matter what the extra things are. Who knew they were going to come up to full price? All right, let's talk about down payment assistance. If you're in my marketing group, if you're a marketing group partners or you're a new agent and you're talking to buyers, you need to be talking about down payment assistance. In the last 8 radio shows, I only talked about it once. The down payment assistance is an amazing opportunity if you don't have a lot of down payment, you really need the money. But if you don't need the money for down payment assistance and you can get a grant that is forgiven after 3 years, or you can get down payment assistance that allows you to buy down the rate, or if you can get enough down payment assistance that allows you to buy a property in a higher price range with the same payment, how could you not take advantage of down payment assistance? Now we know every single county in the United States has at least one program that offers down payment assistance. In some, like in Florida, there's 80 or 90 or 100 down payment assistance programs. Now they're all different. Some of them require you to take a class. Some of them require you to have not this much income but less. Some of them will analyze your income, and if you have 5 kids, you may qualify for it, where someone with no kids may not qualify for it. Now, down payment assistance is very, very easy to go after. Any realtor can provide you with a list of homes. In Florida, on Stellar MLS, we put out a program called One Home. In every single property that gets sent out, there's a button on it called Down Payment Assistance. And if you click on that button, it will take you to a platform. And it's going to ask you your financials. It's going to ask you for your income. It's going to ask you for your social security number. And you can confidently put your information in. This is a real thing. It's not a scam. It's a broker partner that provides the down payment assistance website so that you can put in one application and go after all the down payment assistance programs that you can qualify for. So if you're a new agent, you need to be talking about down payment assistance. If you're a first-time home buyer, you need to be asking about down payment assistance. If you are an established person and think that maybe you make too much income for down payment assistance, you have nothing to lose by trying. Now what'll happen is when you go on One Home, the down payment assistance button will say something like, this home qualifies for 16 different down payment assistance programs. And then you'll put your income in and other information, and then it might say
7.
Yeah, 7. And then 3. And then it may say, go away, you make too much money, go buy it for cash. No, I don't think I've ever seen that, but I do believe there is many homes where you're not going to qualify, and that's just part of the challenge of, when they give away money, you should take it. I mean, in theory. So anyway, if you have an interest in down payment assistance, reach out to me, Randal Jenkins. My phone number is very easy to remember. It's 727-409-HOME. Just remember, 409 spray cleaner. 409-HOME is my phone number. My Gmail address is RJ, my initials, 409home@gmail. And if you can't find me any other way, go on the internet and Google me, and I will send you a link for down payment assistance. And every single buyer you realtors out there talk to, the first thing you want to talk to is down payment assistance, because who are they going to remember? Oh, that Eric Jenkins guy, he was trying to get me free money.
Yes.
You're such a great co-host. We talked about your story about getting an $80,000 down payment assistance. It was a 60.
Yeah, no, it was 80.
80,000. I got one guy $80,000 on a $40,000 house.
Mine was on 270.
You could buy a house and have them owe you money.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. Good. So let's talk about a different subject. Let's talk about the first offer that comes in. Oftentimes, the first offer is the best offer.
I know why.
Somebody's calling me.
It's a call-in.
It's a realtor. I hope it goes away, because we're doing a Facebook Live, Stacy. Go away.
Go away.
Don't touch it. It'll hang up.
I know why.
Okay, hang up. You know why?
I know why. The first one's the best one.
Go ahead and tell us, Mr.
Because
Jenkins.
you took it.
No, we didn't take it.
I'm
We
just
got
saying,
the offer.
if you take the first one, that's the best one.
No, it's about lurkers.
Tell me more.
So somebody is interested in a particular property at a particular price, and they can't find it. And they're getting emails from their realtor, and they're on Zillow, and they're on, by the way, I don't want to badmouth Zillow, but I will say nice things about homes.com. Zillow is now sending buyers to whichever agent pays Zillow the most amount of money.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder if it's a violation of some of those federal laws, but
Sarbanes-Oxley.
you're not going to get the the listing agent by calling Zillow. Zillow is going to give you, it's almost like those paid ads on Google. The more you pay for a lead, the more they promote your advertisement. And Zillow has gone off the chart on what I understand people are paying 50% of the commission for Zillow leads. And when you get that person to answer the phone, it's not the listing agent.
Cheryl.
That's somebody else.
Hey, I'm here.
We did 3 shows and I got no calls, and now we're doing 1 show and I got 3 calls.
Perfect.
All right, so the first offer could very well be somebody who was deeply looking for that product at that price and they couldn't find it. So the first offer is always worth taking a look at. We told the story a few weeks ago about the giant living room on
Pool table.
Maycombs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy was looking for a house that was large enough to put a pool table in. And there's plenty of houses that are large enough to put a pool table in, but it also has to be large enough for you to put your pool cue on the edge of the table. Thank you. So anyway, during COVID was such a unique market. I couldn't function as a buyer's agent during COVID because people put in, the pattern was you put in an offer 10,000 below on the first offer. And then on the second offer, it was 5,000 below. And the third offer, it was at the asking price. And the fourth offer was 5,000 over. And the fifth offer was 10,000 over. Until the 10th offer, they're offering $40,000 and $50,000 over the asking price. And what made me think of this was thinking about how many offers have you made? And that was my thing. When I had a buyer call me during COVID, I would say, how many offers have you made? And when they say they haven't made an offer yet, I would say, go talk to another realtor about making offers, because I can't train you through 10 offers. Also, I'd had a heart attack and I wasn't going to do good on a ventilator, and I was quarantining mostly. But I did sell a lot of houses through that period because I had a lot of listings.
I had one listing where we had 74 showings on the weekend, and then we had 11 offers on that following Monday.
What house was that?
It was a little villa.
The 140,000 thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
villa.
we talked about that.
Yeah. Palm Harbor Villa, 1-car garage, 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
Underground utilities.
Underground utilities.
You don't know it, but that's one of Eric's little key words. He
I love
loves.
that. I
He
love
loves underground utilities.
It's better, people. When the power lines fall on the other neighborhoods, they don't fall on my clients because ours are underground.
All right, so I said we would talk about a lot of different subjects, including AI. So let's talk a moment about AI. If you haven't dealt with AI, you can try it out for free on chat. AI is all about prompts. It's all about asking the right question. And interestingly, if you were new to AI, let me teach you. AI, if you want to deal with AI, you should ask AI how to deal with itself. Meaning, instead of saying, I'd like to get a list of everybody and everything that does this and that and has these 3 or 4 characteristics. A better way to ask it would be to say, I'd like to create a prompt that will help me ask you, AI, about this subject. I'd like you to include these 3 or 4 key variables, but I'd also like you to include aspects of this issue that I couldn't even think of. And then it'll spit out, it could be a 2 or 3 page prompt that you would then cut and paste into AI to ask the question. And let's assume it gives you a solution. For example, let's say it's a description or an article you're writing or something. Then you take that article and you say, AI, you can tell AI what it is. So you can say, you are the greatest copywriter judge in the world. You are like $1 million copyright agency in New York. You can judge copy better than anyone else. On a scale of 1 to 10, give me a ranking of this article. And then AI will go in there and say, it's a 7.5, or it's an 8.5. And then you can say, what would you do or add to this to make it a 10 out of 10? And it won't give you a 10 out of 10. Its perfection is unachievable, evidently. But if you can get it to 8.9 or 9.1, then you can pretty much stop there and think that your content that you created is acceptable. But you can definitely go from a 7.5 to an 8.5 by having AI judge itself. And so depending on the topic, it will depend on how you want to ask the question. But that will give you a much better opportunity to get a better result from AI. Another thing that I just learned, and I'm taking a kind of expensive AI class right now, and interestingly, if you have a conversation with AI, the longer the conversation gets, the dumber AI gets. Because let's say and what I do is I cut and paste everything onto a blank Word document so that I can go back and review it at my leisure when I'm not paying for AI time. I don't want to be paying for time on AI because I do have the subscription. But when you create a conversation and you ask, well, what about this? And what about that? What about this? Every time you ask it another question, it goes back and rereads the whole conversation. And it has lots and lots of variables in your conversation. And maybe it doesn't get stupid, but it gets slower. And your best bet is to not keep going with that same conversation. Your best bet is to click new conversation. It will effectively forget all of what you talked about before, but you don't need that because you're doing a new conversation. So be cognizant that you want to cut and paste your results onto a document, and then when you're ready to start a new subject with a new chat. Do not keep using the same chat over and over.
That's good to know.
That's great to hear. And AI in real estate is just amazing. You know, if you're shopping, you can shop. I shop on MLS and I look for, I do a lot of income property, duplexes, triplexes, apartment buildings. Well, not a lot of apartment buildings, but I certainly would like to help you if you're looking for one. But what happens is I go on MLS and I shop, and then I get off and I say, give me the best deal on income properties in Pinellas, Hillsborough, Hernando, and Pasco County. And it gives me a different list, which is mind-boggling. Because AI is not going on MLS, it's going out there to other formats and other information providers. So AI...
Which they pulled it from MLS.
No, they didn't, because if it's not on MLS, if it's on MLS, I would have found it. Try it.
Okay.
You'll like it.
Try it.
All right, another thing that AI is really great for is if you go on Priceline or Travelocity or any of these sites and it gives you, here's 100 possibilities, cut and paste them into AI and say, what's the best deal? And it'll come back and say, this one's got a higher rating and a lower price. It's more locally available. It's closer to, the points of interest. AI is a great analyzer of
data,
and trying to pick a trip. We got all these choices and all these websites. Trivago, where do you go to get the best deal? And it came back and it said, go on this site and buy this, add in the car. If the car is more than this, buy it separately. Like, oh, thank you very much, AI. I thought AI was a poker term.
All in.
All in. All right, so we're trying to help our audience become more knowledgeable and more educated. And I have 13 pages of content that we can talk about. But let's talk about the buyer's broker agreement and the easy exit listing. Now, buyer's brokers agreements are a new thing since, what was it?
August 2024.
I knew he knew that date. And basically what happened was that the realtors got sued for $1 billion and lost. And it was determined that when you put a big fat commission on a property, realtors showed it more. Not only did they show it more, these houses tended to sell quicker because they got more views. And in that audience, I think it was Missouri and Kansas, it seems like the realtors out there basically said that commissions weren't negotiable. And they got caught on a whole bunch of things and found guilty and settled for $400 million. Then the Department of Justice came in and said, what you did is not only illegal, but it's a violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. Further, when you send somebody to a higher priced commission house, that's called steering, and that's illegal. And as part of the settlement with the Department of Justice is the realtors agreed to not do that anymore. Among other things, they don't publish commissions. Commissions are negotiable. You don't have to pay a commission. And the biggest challenge or biggest event that occurred is that they put in place the buyer's broker agreement. And the buyer's broker agreement determines what the commission is before you actually go look at a house. And what I'm seeing on these real estate mastermind groups are that consumers are signing buyer's brokers agreements, and then they're changing realtors without realizing the implications of the documents they signed. And this is not good. You give up on a realtor because you can't find what you want. A month goes by, you see another house, you call a different agent, or you go into a new construction property and you buy a house, and next thing you know, some buyer's broker agreement that you signed that you've forgotten about reappears, and next thing you know, there's some agent out there telling you that you owe them a commission. And to that end, let me just tell you, my buyer's broker agreements are cancelable. Cancelable? Just say the word and we're done. I am not holding anybody to a buyer's broker agreement if I can't find him a house. And if you're shopping for a realtor, please read what you sign. If you got a buyer's broker agreement that says that you're going to work with this realtor for a year, do not go buy a house without that agent. Now, if you have a problem with that agreement and that agent will not release you, go to their broker and say, I'm not getting along with this person, and he doesn't take my calls, and I want to go buy a house, and I'm in a real jam because I signed your buyer's broker agreement, and this agent won't let me out. Please, will you let me out of this agreement? And the broker may or may not let you out, but do not just ignore the fact that you signed documents and forgot about it. The other good things about the buyer's broker agreement, it outlines the relationship. It tells you what the realtor is going to do, what services they're providing, about their availability for showings and their how long their arrangement to work with them goes. And then most importantly, how compensation works. What happens is that when you sign a buyer's broker agreement, you agree to what the commission is going to be in that document. And that document says that if the seller doesn't pay the commission, the buyer will. Now think about that. For 100 years, sellers always paid the commission to the buyer's agent. And now all of a sudden we're in a market where we are mandated by the federales that we are not supposed to show houses unless we have a buyer's broker agreement in hand.
Or with a listing agent.
Yeah, and we talked about this the other day, and we don't want to make it too confusing, but there's a point where you have to get something signed by the buyer,
Not before.
even if you're in the listing. True, you can go look at houses with the listing agent without signing a buyer's broker agreement, but there's a line where they cannot cross to try to sell you this house without formalizing your relationship. And what happens is that when a buyer signs the buyer's broker agreement and it says that they agree that the buyer will pay a 3% commission, the buyer's agent goes to the seller's agent and says, are you paying a commission? My buyer's agent agreement says it's 3%. Will your seller pay the 3%? And what happens is if the seller agent says no, the buyer's agent goes back to the buyer and says they don't want to pay 3% commission. Do you still want to see the house? And that's code for, are you going to pay my commission? And what happens is the buyer says, no, I don't want to see that house. And the net result is it's no longer the realtor steering them to houses that pay the commission. It's now the buyer saying, I don't want to see the house. And that's not a violation. Anything you want to add to that, Mr. Jenkins?
No, that's pretty good.
All right, so if you're signing a buyer's agent agreement, you want an easy exit agreement. Now, a lot of realtors are not going to do that. My time is too valuable. I'm not showing you houses unless I'm guaranteed to be your agent when you eventually buy something. For some of us, for me, the obligation to be there when you're ready to go look at houses, for you to call me on a Saturday morning when I've got other plans and say, I want to go look at houses. You signed an agreement with me. I'm required to find you a house. You want to go shopping, but you didn't schedule anything? That's just too much of an obligation. You're released. Go shopping with somebody else. Because by then, we've obviously seen enough houses and not bought enough houses to know that I haven't been able to fulfill your dream. I haven't found you what you're looking for. And I hear stories about people who have shown 40 and 50 properties to somebody over 6 or 8 months. You're nodding your head, Mr. Jenkins. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know how many times that's happened to me?
I don't.
None.
I believe you.
None. So anyway, easy exit buyer's agreement, and there's something else called an easy exit listing agreement. That's one of the things you do, right?
Yeah.
You do a lot of things that aren't the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah? Care to share?
Well, on all my listings, it says that the seller can release me as their agent for 0 fee prior to the home going pending. So if they sign up with me and they're disillusioned, they're unhappy, they can call me, and within a moment, 5 minutes, it'll be withdrawn unconditionally, and they can go shop another realtor or for sale by owner or whatever they want to do.
All the good deals sell in the first 7 or 14 days. You can look at days on market, you can look at the pricing, you can look at the amenities, and you will see that those properties that sold the quickest offered the most amenities for the least amount of price, and it was priced right.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was underpriced. How many times have you seen agents brag, I sold 3 houses within 3 days? What's your first thought?
They listed it too low.
They listed it too low. So if you've got a house that's been on the market for 3 months and it's not selling, and the seller's not willing to lower the price and they want to fire you, I think the term is, bye.
Let them go.
You're free. All right, so I was researching Zillow about price changes and how price changes are handled on it. When you make a price change on Stellar or on MLS, it takes as much as 24 hours for Zillow to refresh the feed. If information changes, such as the taxes, or if information changes, it may not show up on Zillow. Heck, it may not show up on MLS if its property's been listed long enough. A price reduction does not usually reset days on Zillow or make the property a genuinely new listings. Buyers can still see that it's been in the market and the price has changed. But if you change the wording on a property, Zillow will replace, or should replace, the old description with the revised wording. Evidently, their feed refreshes every day. Photos should refresh every day, not immediately, not like on MLS. Status changes, such as going from active to pending or back on market, also transfer automatically. What this means from a marketing standpoint is if a listing is not receiving attention, rewriting the remarks is worthwhile, but is primarily a conversation improvement, not an exposure generator. It helps to persuade buyers who already find a property and open the property for the first time. What I've found is that sellers' listings may not be coached well enough to understand that a price change causes it to come out on the hot sheet. And that hot sheet, all you realtors out there, all my students, please, when you list a property, talk about the hot sheet and the benefit of having regular price changes. I like to make price changes on Friday. My thought is that over the weekend, when they're opening their email, they're going to see, oh, here's a property in my criteria Randy sent me. Let me go ahead and take a look at it. So price changes, we'll get it on the hot sheet. There's thousands, tens of thousands of realtors that put out auto emails with particular buyers, clients, and sellers criteria. And if you put it out on the market and 3 months later you haven't had a price change, you're really doing your client a disservice. What I would do is in my listing agreement is saying, look, give me $20,000 or $30,000 worth of
Price
leeway.
reductions.
Allow me to drop the price $1,000, $1,500 every week, and let's get it on the hot sheet. Hey, it's 5:59 and 45 seconds. We have successfully killed 53 minutes talking about real estate. We really want to thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you have any real estate questions, reach out to me. Randy Jenkins, Randal Jenkins, rj409home@gmail.com. Thank you so much for being the audience and sharing your time with us today. And we're out of here.
See you later, Mom. That's a candy apple wrap. Oh, look at that bear. He is up there, buddy.
Oh, we only have 7 minutes to move out of here before the next show starts.
All right, they called me and I don't have to go.